Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. Do come on in. So today we've got the fabulous Nicole Higgins, who's the founder of the Buyer and Retail Coach and has got 20 years of experience in product development, sourcing, and strategy. So hello, Nicole, and welcome.
Hello, thank you very much for having me. Good to be back with you.
Do let us know where you're tuning in from today. Say hi in the chat. We always love to hear who's on these calls and know a little bit more about your business. If you've got some questions as we go, feel free to pop those in the Q&A at the bottom and we will go through those at the end. This session will be recorded, so don't worry about taking copious notes unless you want to. And we will be sending you a link to the recording in the coming days so you can catch up on anything that you would like to. I want to say a big thank you to BT Digital Skills for partnering with us on today's webinar and making it possible. Okay, I will hand over to you now, Nicole, and I will see you at the end for some questions.
Great. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. And I am going to dive straight in because we've got a lot to cover. So yeah, while you're coming in, let me know where you're coming from and what your business is. And because then I can relate some of my examples to your business and hopefully bring them in and make those examples more real to you. So if you have not met me before, my name is Nicole. Find me on Instagram as the Buyer and Retail Coach. I've got around 20 years experience working for companies like Primark, Marks and Spencer's, Debenhams, and I have traveled the world sourcing product, developing product for brands, for retailers, and growing my department. So I bought everything from bras to beauty, and everything else in between: bras, beauty, lingerie, footwear, and accessories. And I now consult. So I help small to medium-sized businesses start or grow, depending on what stage they're at. I still work with larger businesses on ad hoc projects. And I also have a podcast called Start, Scale, Succeed, which has over 170 episodes in it now. And that is purely geared to mainly product businesses. And the people that I have on that are those that are entrepreneurs and experts that will help you in your business. So getting down to it. So today we are talking about connecting with your consumers and your customers in 2025 and growing your business. And we're focusing on three main areas. So we're going to be looking at retail trends to watch and consumer behavior and insight. And some of this won't be new. Some of it you may have heard before, but some of it is just become more important. We're going to be talking about some social media side of things and social media trends to leverage. And again, where the focus is for that, and then using AI a little bit more so that you can help your business grow. So just on the customer and how they're feeling now and the kind of things that they want, I'm just going to move this chat down here a little bit. So they want to align themselves. This is in general, they want to align themselves with brands that reflect their values. They want a seamless experience. So the same experience that they get on your app, on your physical store, on your website, at an event, they want that same kind of experience in all of those touch points, that same kind of customer service that they want. And they want to make it they want to shop where they are. So they want to be able to find you online. They want to be able to find you, very much on mobile, and making it easy for them to shop where they are and how they like to consume information and consume products. They find inspiration everywhere. So, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but there's so many more people now that are using social media as a search engine in itself. And you've probably done it yourselves where, instead of going to a destination to a company's website, if you're traveling, you might have looked hashtag that destination. I did it recently myself we're going to Morocco for Easter, and I was looking at desert camps, and I went to Instagram first before I actually went to Google. And there's more and more people that are doing that because they feel they can get more of a feel for what the brand is about. People are still turning to influencers. They are still using search engines, and then also looking at review sites. So again, I suppose if I still use my example of my Morocco search for accommodation, I found what I wanted on Instagram, and then I went to TripAdvisor to see what the reviews were like. So it's definitely part of people using social media as a search engine and those review sites. It's all part of that customer funnel from the awareness to when they actually make the decision to purchase. They also want more omni-channel experiences, so both digital and physical, and we'll talk about that again a little bit more as well. So 61% of people said they want an in-person experience, which is up 21% from 2023. So there is more of a craving for in-person retail, in-person events, and whether that's pop-up shops, whether that's collaborations that you do with other brands, so that might have a physical presence. And it's how you can think about, how do you put yourself where your customer is and give them that elevated experience as well. Yes. And they're also, you'll hear this a lot, which is the word authenticity and transparency and relatability. So it's about, particularly, if you are willing to be the face of a brand, and some people will be that are listening and will want to do that, and some people are like, no, that is just my worst nightmare. I don't want to show up on camera. I don't want to be the face of the brand. But that is a really, and we'll talk about a little bit of personal branding as we go through, but it's very much a way that customers are wanting to connect to brands. So and it's not just about being the face of the brand, but what story are you telling, and how can they relate to it? So Nike is really good for this. And I know they're not showing the face of the brand, but they are definitely storytelling and helping the customer connect more with the stories that they're telling, that those customers can see themselves in the stories that they're telling. So if you go on Nike social media, yes, you'll see products, but you'll also see the person training for the marathon that's never ran before, or the person struggling after an injury, or this one here is a clip that I've chosen from, that's like a baseball game about someone that was like struggling through the game. So it's all very relatable. It's all very relatable in terms of how the customer is connecting, and then also it's and telling those stories. And customers are quite they have more of a social conscience. And yes, there's, I'm not going to go into, people are still buying from Shein and Temu, or however you pronounce it, but there are customers that want to support brands that give back, whether that's planting a tree for every £10 profit, or like some of these two brands that I've shown here. This is a Scottish brand. I'm going to mention it a couple of times. Not a brand, sorry, a retailer in Edinburgh called Treen, and they are like a sustainable flagship. So they sell only sustainable brands, and they create an impact report of what they're doing in their business to reduce their carbon footprint. They'll share their kind of charter that they ask suppliers, a list of 20 questions that they ask suppliers, they ask brands before they take them on as a brand, to make sure that the brands are very transparent and they can, very confidently say, yes, you're sustainable, you're doing what you're saying you're doing. This picture here is for a brand called the founder is called Priya, and the brand is called Pre. And what they do is they make products out of old saris or unused saris, and they use a community in India, a female community in India, to make those saris. So it's thinking about what stories you've got that you can share with the customer. How can you make your business and what you're doing more relatable to what they're doing as well? And also, we are busy consumers. So, and we do not want to wait. So 40% of customers will abandon a site if it takes longer than 3 seconds to load. So that convenience, both from how you shop, how you pay, so having Apple Pay on your phone, making sure that that's there, introducing Klarna if that is right for you, because it's easy for people to pay, and just making sure that your website is functioning the way it needs to function. And then also, using those reviews, using those influencers, if you can, to help sway people to make a decision. And it might not necessarily, and I don't mean influencers in terms of people that seem far reaching. It could be a lot of user generated content, and how you can bring that in to your own social media as well, and then help that customer make that decision to trust you and buy your products or use your services. But they do want more than just products. They want experiences. And I'm going to touch on experiential marketing as we're talking through this. But some of the things, if you have a physical and a digital presence, it's how you can combine those a little bit more. So if you've got a physical presence, can you offer click and collect so that when they come in, you can build that relationship? If you've got a physical store, this depends how big you are, but these are some of the ways that bigger retailers are doing about handheld scanners to take payments. Self-checkout is another way that people are combining those. Smart fitting rooms with mirrors and embedded styling tips. And then so you've got digital window displays. I noticed some people said there's service-based businesses that are on the talk today. But thinking about, I've recently ran an event. I've been wanting to do it for 2 years, and it was so great to be able to. It was a very small event. Did one in Dublin and London. But getting people together in a room and making that connection was really important, and it helped. And then obviously everyone shared it, and that helped grow my brand as well. Then think about how retailers can connect with the consumer. So I'm going to go through a couple of different things. I'm just going to pull the chat back up, but just in case there's any questions as we go along. So SMS marketing is something that is really key for you to help grow your business. Now, that is based on, I'm making an assumption that you're already using email marketing really well. So some of the things that I'm going to talk about are, if you're not using email marketing well, and you're not using social media well, or as well as you could, I don't feel you need to focus on those first and then move to these kinds of things. But these are part of your arsenal as such to help you grow your business. But making sure that you're doing email marketing well, and making sure you're doing social media well before you start spreading yourself into all these different areas. But you'll see a couple of stats in here. I do like my stats, but close to 100% of people own a smartphone between the ages of 16 to 54, which is such a massive a massive percentage of people. And that mobile commerce, so that's basically shopping on your mobile, is said to hit 100 billion in 2025. And I'm going to share some examples of who's doing it well in a moment, but the conversion with SMS and the click-through of SMS is very high. So 1 in 3 people prefer to get text over emails, and SMS marketing gets 5.5 times the click rate of email. And the average click-through for SMS is around 29%. So it does have higher conversion definitely than email, but I would make sure that your email is still obviously very important. And some people say, and I've heard clients say to me, oh, but I don't want to bother them, I don't want to this. Stats have shown that 70% of customers are willing to sign up to SMS messages. And there's a way that you can grow those people that are on your list, from existing people that are already on your email list to people that just come into your world, and how you can ask them. You can give them an extra discount for signing up from SMS. But let me just go through why you should use it. So it increases your customer retention. It will decrease abandoned cart. It saves time and resource with you and your business. You're reaching a customer where they're at. So if they're shopping and they've forgotten about something, you can very easily send them a text message, say, hang on a second, come back, it's still in your basket. And it helps drive more sales, it helps drive more sales, customer engagement and retention. And that's what we are all here for. And this is very much, product businesses use this very well. Also service-based businesses use this. I've seen if ever you if you sign up for programs and courses, you'll often get those text reminders that the Zoom is starting now, that this is starting now, or don't forget to sign up, or your deadline is coming. In terms of platforms to use, Klaviyo you can use SMS marketing with Klaviyo. There is another company called Ambiente. And I know some of the big brands use that, so I have no idea what the cost of that would be. But if you use Klaviyo, if you're a product-based business, you can use SMS marketing already through that. And ways that I've seen it being used and is the abandoned browse and abandoned cart, your shipping and delivery, so notifications of when something is coming. If you want to create a VIP club, your promotional flash sales and early access for launches. So, that kind of urgency message. And yes, I would say service-based businesses, it would work. But again, it's making sure that your email marketing you've already got that foundations in place for your email marketing, because what you want to do is you want them both to work well together. So the way I've seen SMS being used with service-based businesses, again, is like I said, if you've got a new offer out, or if you've got something that's a limited, you've got an early bird price on an offer, or you're doing something for Black Friday. It's not as in terms of the results and what I've looked into more product-based businesses, but yes, it is being used for service-based businesses as well. And if you ever look at Amy Porterfield or Stu McLaren and their programs, you can, even if you just sign up to it, to see how they do it, and you can see what their messaging is and how they're messaging. So two brands that are using it really well are the Inky List, and there's another brand called Only Curls, and they're both actually using a company called Ambiente to help them with this. Again, I have no idea what the costs are for that program, but you can, if you're a product-based business, you can use Klaviyo and you get started that way. So they'll often use it for the Inky List will use it if they've if a new product has come, for your abandoned cart, if you're tracking deliveries. They used it a lot around Black Friday. So and since they've started using it, and they use it globally now in all their countries that they're in, they've seen 26 times return on investment. And the average conversion rate across their messages is 36%, which is high. And then Only Curls have also used it. Again, it's like they've been using it for 2022. And I would encourage you, if you're a product-based business, just sign up to those brands, even if you're not interested in their products, just to see how they use it. And you can go further into, if you search Inky List SMS marketing, you'll see lots of other articles around that. And same with Only Curls. If you search Only Curls SMS marketing, attentive, you'll see a YouTube video that that the owner, which is a UK brand, did on it as well. There's some of the questions I'm going to come back to about SMS, because I think we could get stuck all day if I don't move on. But it's about, with SMS, it's about reaching your customer where they are. We spend, I bet everyone that's here has probably got their phone beside them. And yes, you're listening to a webinar, but you've probably got your phone on. I hope you don't, and put it aside so you can focus. But it is about reaching their customer where they are. And if you've not received them, it's because you've not signed up to it already. And I can see, Ria, you're saying you've never received any SMS marketing. It is another step that a customer has to sign up to and tick a box from a GDPR and a data side of things. My son has curly hair, and so I always get the Only Curls messages. They send a lot. Okay. So now, what's your best practice? So you want to start building your list. So that might be, if you've already got a list, and you might encourage them with an extra discount. So another, you're already on a list, but we want to be able to make sure that you don't miss out on our great deals or something like that. Here's an extra 5% discount, and to give us your SMS, to give us your phone number. But then what you want to do for everyone new that's coming in, ask for it at their email sign up. You can ask for it when they're checking out for their their product. Ask for it on your website homepage. Ask for it in your newsletters. You know, like email, you're going to personalize the messages. You can do A/B testing with it. You can, you know, it can be very much focused to what they've bought. You want to leverage time sensitive promotions. So it's really good with flash sales, exclusive offers, anything that's like an urgency triggers. Test things like the time of the day and which day. You could offer value. So you might be like, come and join our SMS and be part of our VIP club. You want it short and snappy. So not too long, clear, concise with a clear call to action. You can also use images in your SMS. So if, you know, something that's more visual, and you can segment your audiences based on their preferences. You can also use it for customer service, so the delivery side of things, and then again, integrating it with email so that you've got a cohesive message. Now, moving on to experiential marketing. So what experiential marketing is engaging customers through live and immersive experiences. So that is when they are getting more involved in what is going on in a physical space. And there might be interactive parts to that, such as a spin the wheel. You can see this is the a makeup brand that had a pop-up in Scotland. They've got the photo booth. They had quite a lot of different things going on when they did a pop-up. And so let me just go my notes I have here. But there's ways that you as a small business can do this as well. But these are just some different examples of a bigger business. There's a great company called Backlash Creative that do probably any pop-ups for big brands. They'll be the ones that do it. If you were in London around Christmas time, you will have seen the Joe Malone one in Covent Garden, which was just unbelievable. It was sequins all on the outside. It was quite tactile. It had a spin the wheel on the inside. You know, there was a queue going out the door. And they're just fun, and they get the customer involved in the brand. It helps create a good feeling. It gets people talking about it. It's brand recognition. It makes you stand out. And this is another one. This is one which was a pop-up concession in Selfridges. So it's much obviously smaller scale, but the branding looks amazing. They had a little Polaroid cameras that they then put into branded little pouches that had stickers on. So there can be smaller scales to do it. I don't know whether if I can. I'm going to click on this. Oh, no, hang on. It won't let me open it. I'm not gonna click on it. I have got the link to it. I just don't want to click on it and click back out. So when you're thinking about experiential marketing and why do you do it, it will enhance your customer experience. It's brand differentiation. It's increased foot traffic. So it's building that emotional connection. So if you remember what I've said about earlier on about the customers want more than just buying a product. They want an experience. It helps drive sales, and it creates that word of mouth and social media buzz, and this person shares it, that person shares it, or we're going to such and such, and it gives you that competitive advantage. So as a smaller brand or a smaller business, how can you do that? So this is this brand Trina again. This is this retailer Trina again, which is based in Scotland. And this year they really, really embraced the community. So not only was so they have a physical store, but Kat, who's the founder, was showing up very much online, talking them through the ranges. So she was really creating that more of a seamless experience that, you know, what you would see on social media, you'd also is the same kind of thing that you would get in store, and vice versa. So these are the outfits, these are our best sellers, that kind of thing. So what Kat did with Trine this year is they had a lot of workshops. So they had I think they had a perfume making workshop. They had one of their pillars is sustainability. So they had a repair workshop where they got a specialist in to help them kind of do embroidery and repair things and stitching. They had this perfume one. They also had brands do pop-ups in their premises. So if you don't have physical space, you can reach out to people that do have a physical space and see if you can do collaborations and have those conversations about, how can you do something that is special for your customer and leverage their customer for it as well. But yeah, Trina is a good one to look at and to see the kinds of things that they are doing. And other ways that you can do it is, so like pop-up experiences, DIY workshops. So depending on what your business, what your brand is, mini events, partner and collaborate with local or aligned businesses. So you might do a themed event, and they don't all have to be, it's great if they are physical, but say if you're a stationary brand and you might run a January goal setting event online. Or I saw there was a beauty brand actually, and so it doesn't have to be all about like selling your products. There was a beauty brand which is called I Am, and they're very much about aligning mind, body, and skin. So in January they did like a vision board event where everyone that came there did their vision board, and that was very much targeted to their customer, who's like the 18 to 25-ish customer. This company here, this is a brand called Nifty, who sell whiteboards that stick on places that basically that you use for organization in your office. And they did a bit of like guerrilla marketing, and they stuck these stickers around London and used that as a bit of a marketing exercise, and people could see them and they were like, what's going on? There was another one that I have seen. I was trying to find it, but it was one, I think it was in New York, and it was this big sign with a QR code saying, I've seen that you've cheated. And it was like pretending that it was a boyfriend. So people would scan the QR code and it would take them to the product. So it's thinking about how can you get people involved with your brand. And competitions is one of those as well, and leveraging off other people's leveraging off other people's audience as well. And then, one of the questions is, what can you do if your business is still very small and you don't have the budgets of bigger brands? Absolutely, you can do, Janine, I'm not sure what your business is, but, and what scale you're at, but, there are ways that you can do a workshop. There are ways that you're decluttering and organizing, right? Okay. So give me a couple of minutes to think about that one. I might come back to that one for you. But you might do a live and give them the whole tips to do it, and be like, right, do it with me. Or something like that. You put me on the spot there, but you might do something like that, or you might create this is your declutter day, and it's a special event that you do, and you get everyone that's following to be like, right, this is what I've got rid of. It's kind of thinking, yes, there's very much, you do want a physical side of things, so if you can, but it's also about how can you get people involved. How can you create essentially kind of an event around something? Yeah, but yeah, very interesting. And I said, there's some great people doing it. Then personal branding. So, and I'm not sure how many people want to show up as their brand owner, as a brand founder, but it really does help build trust and authority. It helps tell the story, and it brings that customer on the journey with you, and it allows you to set yourself away, apart from the competition. So these again are some examples of brands that do this really well. So Otto and Ivy, she is the founder of a brand that sells shoes for feet, women with larger feet. I don't know what size they start and go up to, but she's very much the face of her brand. That's the reason she started it, because she couldn't find what she wanted. Trine, who I mentioned, so Kat, who's the founder, and she is there. They really live and breathe their values, and you can see that in terms of how Kat comes across, what she's talking about, the sustainability, the brands they're choosing, the impact report that they've created. She will go live on Instagram and talking through the brands, and she'll do a lot of behind the scenes of a recent trip to Copenhagen. And then you've got Odd Muse, who with Amy, who is kind of really recently started to ramp this up and the behind the scenes side of things. They're about to open they opened a pop-up shop in New York, and they're now going to have a bigger premise. They're now going to have a permanent premises there. She's just starting her bridesmaids range, but she's really bringing you on the journey, and did from the very beginning, because it was only her. She started as basically, I think it was just one or two pieces of tailoring, and has grown now to this really successful business. And then moving on to social media and how to use what's happening with social media and some of the things that you can use. So one of those is social e-commerce. So live shopping's been live shopping's been popular in China since 2016, but it is really starting to become more popular in Europe, in the UK. And again, it's about shopping. It's about making things easy for your customers. And you have TikTok Shop, you're now able to shop on Instagram, you have the tap to shop side of things as well. But it's expected to go from 7 billion to 16 billion in 2028. And I think it's just worth under the 7 billion in the UK. So there's platforms that can help you do this. So there's Spree, which is a live shopping platform, and there's another platform called Whatnot. You'll hear Gary Vee talk about Whatnot quite a bit. And Spree, I've experienced them in terms of I've had them on my podcast, Start, Scale, Succeed, which I'll link to in a little bit. But there's a relatively low barrier to entry, and there's a very high conversion rate. You will still have to test to see what works. You don't need to have a massive social media following for live shopping for you to work, but you do need to have an engaged one, and you need to test and see what works. So just to give you an example, this here is a company called Highlight Crafts. So Highlight Crafts and Stephanie will say it herself, they were about to close their business. Now, a year on, they can take £15,000 in an hour from a live, and they go live throughout the week. But it's about finding what works for you. And Spree will say generally kind of once a week to start. And it is the opportunity there because of the conversion is really good. And you're speaking, so in terms of why you would use it, you're speaking directly to your customer. The connection and engagement that you can get is key. And what works, there's a fantastic interaction. And because you're saying to customers, comment this to get this, or comment X to get Y, the algorithm sees that, and they send more and more people to your channels and your lives when you're live shopping. So it's a really great way to grow your sales. But again, making sure that it's the right fit for you, that you're already, you basically want to try and monetize what you're already doing. So if you're already showing up on social media. So if I go back to Kat and Trine, she's not doing live shopping yet. But anyone that's doing, there's a brand that I know that goes live every Tuesday talking about their products, and they will sell because there'll be obviously a customer's probably watching on the phone and then going into their website to buy. But the way live shopping works is it removes that friction point that you've got to have someone on two devices. They can shop right from their Instagram, right from their phone, and just tap on it and shop it. So the ways that it works and how it works is through the Q&As that happen, the polls. You've got a clear call to action. You might have the countdown that's going on in terms of, oh, this is going to be out of stock in 5 minutes. And also one of the things that makes this work is, and Stephanie, who's the founder of Highlight Crafts, will say as well, is it's not, they've had polished hosts in before, and it's not the polished hosts, it's the real people that are from that business that make that product sell. And Spree, who is one of the tech platforms, they'll talk about how it works for a variety of businesses. They have a butcher that they work with that goes live every Friday about what's available that Friday, and he sells more in that Friday than he does in the whole week. But yeah, if you want to know more about live shopping, then if you take a photograph of that QR code, it will take you to this podcast, which is with Spree, and there's a lot more about live shopping and the conversion and how it works and all that kind of thing. But so things that you could try now as a smaller business. So you could experiment with TikTok Shop if you have a presence. You could live stream on Instagram to see what the engagement is like, and have an immediate call to action. So you can do it kind of without the live shopping platforms first to see. You can set up, if you haven't already, your product catalog in Meta Business Suite. So you can tag products across Instagram and Facebook so that they're shoppable. And you can reach out to live shopping and platforms like Spree and whatnot to understand what the costs are and how it works. And I'd also encourage you to watch other brands that are doing it and see how they do it. And then looking at social media as a search engine. And so more and more people are using social media as a search engine. And if you think of it yourself, like I said, by holiday to Morocco, I went to social media first before I went to Instagram. And approximately, according to Forbes, 24% of people are using social media to search online. So what that means for you is you need to make sure that you are using your captions, your keywords, your hashtags in it like you would as if they were on your website, and making sure that they are optimized for SEO. So this is the funnel that a customer will go through, and that awareness, the consideration, social media is part of that. So like I said, optimizing your content for using SEO. So using long form, short form, informational keywords and ranking keywords. And you can ask AI to help you with this. And later on in the presentation, I have ways for you to ask that and what you can ask. And then using hashtags of purpose. So it's, hashtags are still very relevant. People will use a hashtag to find your product. So if you're in a boutique or you're selling a certain product, make sure that you're using the hashtag in your posts so that people can find you. So like I said, they're the keywords. I'm just a bit conscious of time, so I'm gonna rush through some things a little bit, but like I said at the beginning, it is recorded. So you've got broad keywords, long tail keywords, informational keywords, and ranking keywords. And so in terms of what they are, so broad keywords are quite generic. Longer keywords are more like the sentence the person would put in to find your product. And so it's about not just thinking, it's how can you incorporate those both into your captions and into your hashtags, those keywords. I'm going to show you some examples of that when we get to the AI part. And then also another way to help you grow your audience and increase your sales is by short form video. So making sure that a good percentage, probably at least 50% of your content is short form video. So that's anything ranging from 50 to 90 seconds. You'll see here that they kind of anything from like, you've got a good group here, kind of under 30 seconds, that works really well for short form video. There is still a place for longer video than the 90 seconds, but it's about trialing what works. And generally, if you want to go viral, under 40 seconds is more likely to help you go viral. But it's about delivering content in an easy, entertaining, easy to understand way. So which brings me on to kind of entertainment marketing and making things fun, making things relatable, like I said at the beginning. So you might remember when Marks and Spencer brought out the Mark Wright and Spence Matthews ad. So that got so much exposure. It got so many shares. It got businesses then making their own version of those kinds of ads with Matalan. And so like the shares that got. So it's kind of then thinking how, when there are social media trends like that, how can you incorporate those into your business? And entertainment marketing is important because you've got brand awareness, brand reach. I mean, this is one from Curry's. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're like really cringy. It's like when they're letting the Gen Z colleague write their marketing script. So you'd have don't know if any of you, if you have children and you're listening, and if you ever heard them say the word sigma or skibbity or all these other kind of random words that make no sense to me, but they're then using that in their marketing, and it is quite cringe, but it's funny. And then they'll do the same. They'll kind of reverse it, where they've got the Gen Z colleagues having saying the script of some like older colleagues. And then another thing from a content point of view in social media is creating episodes and themes. So social media is quite like Netflix. You may have come across on TikTok, there was a series that a woman did, and she had 50 parts to it, and it was who the F did I marry? And she went through all these kind of stories, and everyone was like tuning in, going, what happened next? What happened next? What happened next? So the ways you can do that is if you're a travel business, you might have different parts of, you can break things up so that sometimes you might think of a topic that's too big. And you're like, right, how can I break this down and make these into more episodes? So here's an example of a fitness coach, and they're talking about how to grow your glutes. This is travel, and it's, your 2-week itinerary in China, part 1. So and then what you want to do is leave people on a cliffhanger. So it's thinking about what would be something that they would be very engaged with, that you could create an episode or a season of content. Sorry, I've got a dog here. Sorry. Building communities is really key. So in terms of you showing up personally, DMing, private Facebooks is great. This is a brand called Donna May London, who have a very big following, 134,000 on Instagram. They have 64,000 on Facebook, on a public Facebook account, but then they have 11,000 in a private Facebook community. And it's very much, the community supporting each other, asking advice, and ways that you can start building communities is, DMing your customers, having that communication in the DMs, showing up personally, showing up personally, potentially the use of close friends in your Instagram, the use of broadcast channels, asking questions in social media, like the polls, QAs, lives, at least within the live people. If you're going live, people can ask you questions when you're going live. And then using AI to understand your customer. We are going to have time for questions. So sorry, I know I've been going through this a little bit quickly, but there's so many things that you can do with AI. So, but it's understanding what's your customer journey. So, how is your customer coming into your business? What tools are you already using? What are some of your biggest challenges, and how can they be updated or optimized using AI in your business? So one of the key kind of ways and things you can use is chatbot tools. So you might have heard of ManyChat, which is a great tool. I'm going to show you an example of how that works in a minute. But if you've seen on people's social media posts, DM the word X or DM the word Y, and we'll send you the link. It can do so much more than just send you the link. It can do quizzes. It can send you all on a journey of how you pick products. It also can handle the customer service side of things as well. But you can use AI to help create visuals. You can use it to create content. It's very much about the prompts that you put in. So things like in ChatGPT, there's another one called Perplexity for the output you get. It can also help you optimize your website and your SEO and understand your data more. So there are lots of different things that are happening with AI, and this is going to continue to change. Businesses and countries are spending so much money in the development of AI. But I want to show you some examples of, so this is ManyChat. I don't know if you can see it quite well, but let me just go in on the screen a little bit. So this is a product one, and it will ask you, which products are you most interested in, bags or accessories? So this is the behind the scenes of ManyChat. So if they click bags, it then takes them on this journey, asks them a couple more questions. It takes, if they click accessories, it takes them on this journey. It gives them a couple more questions. ManyChat can be as simple or as, and take them on so many different journeys. And you can put in lots of different conditions. If they press this, they go there. If they press that, they go there. Or it could be really simple, and it can be like, DM me the word X and I'll send you the link for our event. And it just means, and I know it sounds silly, but it just means they don't need to go up to the bio. you know, it takes that one step away. And you know, so this is another one in terms of ask them if you want to get more information, you can ask them more questions. You can put delays on it so it doesn't feel like you're going do with all your questions as well. It's really, really clever. So I would just encourage you all to have a look at ManyChat. There is a woman on Instagram, Mel Socially Sound is her Instagram. I did a podcast with her. I haven't linked the one here, but she talks through about how ManyChat can help your business. But it is very good. So you can use it for creating content, drafting your social media posts. And I'm not saying to kind of use it and then just basically copy and paste what it's saying. I'm saying, look at it, add your flair to it. But it, you know, when you're talking about the content side of things, it's great for generating ideas. So you might put in, I am this type of business. Create 10 content ideas based on these content pillars, and it will help to get you thinking. So yeah, there's ways that you can use it, like I said, for your customer service. So if that's a difficult point for you in terms of resource, that's a way that you can use it as well. There are other ways that it helps predict stock levels. It can look at competitor prices and in real time as well. So if you want to see what the market is doing, you could use it to look at all your reviews and be like, what do our customers think of us? If you wanted to create something that was, say, if you were doing a wholesale deck and you wanted a bit of an intro, you could ask AI with a link to your website, analyze all our reviews and give me a paragraph that explains why our customers buy from us, and then you could tweak it. So I want to show you how I've used it from an SEO point of view. Let me just, I don't know where I can, something's happened. Don't know if I can get, oh, there, nope, there we go. Okay, so this was an SEO kind of example I did, and I said, acting as an SEO expert using my website as an example, identify the broad keywords, the long tail keywords, put them in a table, and then compare them to these competitors. So then it came back and it gave me those examples. So then I refined it and I said, run it again, but I found it difficult to read. So I said, give me 20 of each of those and put it in a table for me, and then tell me what my opportunities are with my SEO. So it is very clever and can save you a lot of time. So, you know, it's about making things better for your customers and making things easier for your employees as well. So just as a summary, and I'll come to questions now, is, you know, customer engagement, service, and convenience is key. So the engagement and the service is, you know, probably not new, but it's the convenience and meeting them where they are, which has become more important for people. And that interaction across the platforms, using AI to help you, your team, and your customer, and to help you drive sales, and using technology like SMS marketing, live shopping to improve the experience for both you and your customer, and creating how you can create experiences, how you can bring your product, your brand, your service into different areas of their lives. And 1 second. Yeah, and if you want to get in touch with me, you can find me on the Buy and Retail Coach, at the Buy and Retail Coach. So if you click that QR code, you'll get to me there. You can listen to the podcast Start, Scale, Succeed, which, like I said, has so many episodes. And you can also go on to my website and check things out there. But let's get to the chat, because I know I did see things coming through.
Thank you so, so much, Nicole. That was absolutely amazing. Definitely a bit of a, I think, a whistle stop tour, but you put so much in there. So thank you for that.
Maybe too much.
Lots of love for you in the chat. So thank you so much. I've made a bit of a list of questions, so I will dive straight in.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about ManyChat and they wanted to know, is it expensive? Would it be something that a micro business should invest in?
Yeah. No, it's not expensive, and yes, a micro business should invest in it. So you can get a free version, and the free version will allow you to say, if you want them, you're creating a post or a story, and you're like saying comment the word X, but but you'll only be able to use that on that post or story. Whereas if you are doing something, say it's sale, and you're like, get the link to the sale page, get the link to the sale discount, or whatever. And you could obviously use that on so many more posts and so many more stories. Unless you have the pro version, you can't do it. I think the pro version, the paid version, is either £9 or £15 a month. So it's not
Oh,
expensive.
yeah. And it would save you so much time and really increase your interaction, I guess, and all those
Because it
things.
saves you time, it can bring them on a journey. And like if everyone, and to see how one can work, and I hope it does while I'm saying that, if you DM'd me the word podcast to my Instagram, it will ask you, it will take you through a podcast quiz to then ask you a couple of questions about where you are in your business right now. I hope it's bloody connected and works at the moment. And then it will send you 5 episodes to listen to based on, are you at your beginning stages or are you further along? So and they're things I've put in. You know, obviously you have to put the effort in at the beginning to kind of create the things, but it can be, you know, you can I worked with a client in Australia and we did one about products, and it was we're so excited to launch our new products. So it was kind of the trigger word was something like summer. And so then it was like, it looks like you're interested in our summer products. And then is that correct? And they will go, yes. And then they go, and then it was like, which do you want to see? Sandals, X, Y, Z, whatever. And then they would click on it and then it would take them through to the sandals page. And they didn't have lots of products. So it would show them the 5 sandals, and then it would show them, you know, or if they clicked bags, it would show them the 8 bags, you know, and they could go into that. And so it's a way of kind of keeping them on the platform as well, because people want to stay on the platform, you know,
Yeah,
from a shopping point of view.
definitely. Is it linked exclusively to Instagram or other social media platforms as
So
well?
it's Instagram, Facebook, and it's now just linked with TikTok.
Fabulous.
That's
Okay.
a recent one. I think that literally happened about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Speaking of TikTok, do you think there's a place for TikTok shop with a luxury brand or high value product?
I mean, I have to say, in terms of TikTok, I'm not that you know, I'm not a TikTok expert. I would say, where is your customer? You know, if they're on TikTok and you see them shopping there, then yes, there's a place from there because you can see that it's evident there. I would say if you've got more of an Instagram following, then I would do your and a Facebook following. I would start your live shopping there. But the key thing is how you market it, how you then, you know, you can also repurpose that content. You can, you know, you can clip that content to create reels. You know, the Highlight Crafts company, which I talked about, they're now showing their lives on YouTube. They've now got 10,000 followers on YouTube. So the YouTube lives aren't shoppable, but it's generated content for them, and they've now got over 10,000 followers there. You know, so it's very clever, but again, it's about trialing, testing, using the data, and going again. And with live shopping, and the reason I'm talking about the Spree platform is because I know it better because I had the podcast with McDara. Is It's a low barrier to entry. So they will do things for like £250 a month, and then they take a commission they take like, I think it's about 5% commission on the sales that you take during that live. So, and they will help you with the tech. So it's not like, it is a low barrier to entry. And I think, if you think, we all love physically going into a shop. I know I do, to shop, but I don't have the time to do that anymore. Whereas if someone's bringing that to me, to my phone, and I can ask the questions, then it really does help.
It's like modern tele shopping, isn't it? But you
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
interact.
It's QVC, but you own it. It's QVC, but you own the content. You're in charge of it. You don't have to pay a massive commission, and you can decide what you do with it.
In your opinion, can service-based businesses use SMS marketing?
Yeah, because I've been targeted by it, by service-based businesses. So, like I said, if you think of um if the person who wrote that wants to tell me what kind of service they have, if they want to put in the chat what their service business is. But if a lot of coaches use it, and your hairdressers could use it, beauticians could use it. It's, we're running an offer on wash and blow dries this week. It is, because a lot of those kind of businesses probably won't necessarily have the email addresses, unless they're doing appointments online or they're sending receipts online, but they'll generally have the phone numbers. So, but yeah, I think it is very much a service brand can use it. Again, if that person wants to put what their service business is in the chat, then that can help. But I say if you were doing a launch for a course or a program, you could use around that. You might not want to use it all the time because you might not have that much to actually talk about, but it depends on what your service is and what your business is.
Definitely. I get them for my local hairdresser. And if they've got a last minute dropout, it's so good because they're like last minute space opened up. And, sometimes it's just what you need or, so I
Yeah.
think that does work. And somebody earlier mentioned the takeaway SMSs that you get and those definitely get me as well.
And there's one question I'll answer it here in terms of would you suggest ManyChat if you, because we're still kind of talking about that a little bit, if you provide a service. And I would, yeah, absolutely, because if you think you provide virtual project management services for a small business that we don't have a product to sell as such, but you'll have an offer, you'll have some kind of, you will have your services. So, if you think around January, you will have had a lot of businesses that will have been focused on getting their books done, and everything else will have gone by the wayside. So if December you were kind of targeting those businesses saying, let us take your other tasks off your hand, comment January, comment something, whatever it might be, and you can start that conversation going. It basically can start the conversations and you can finish it in ManyChat and take them to the product, to the service or whatever, or you can take it offline and you might need to ask some more questions, but definitely
I guess you can probably use it as well. I'm assuming you can kind of view, which product people are looking at most or, what people are maybe not interested in. So
yeah.
it's
I mean, I use it I use it for the podcast. I use it for if I'm directing people to offers, like even just signing up to your email list, because and that, you could probably use the free one. You can get them to sign up to your email list, and you do need to link it to Zapier to then connect to your email list and do a couple of other things. And then WhatsApp, I suppose when I'm saying kind of WhatsApp and SMS, I have grouped them more together. The people that are in that world will know much more in terms of is SMS better or is WhatsApp better or the costs or whatever. But so I wouldn't be able to say one over the other. I think basically, essentially, texting, whether it's WhatsApp or whether it's SMS, is something for you as a business to look into, providing your social media is like, you've got things down with your email marketing, your social media as well, and depending on your business.
Someone asked earlier on about setting up SMS messaging and whether instead of using these platforms, you could buy, a second SIM card and just create a list and send it out. Would you recommend that? Or I'm wondering
I
if there's
just think
a
as a
thing.
business, like you want to reduce your workload. Doing
Mhm.
something like that sounds really manual to me. So if you're a product business and you've already got Klaviyo, there's part of it that already does it, so and more email providers are, so if you're sending out emails, more email providers have that as an add-on service that they offer. So it's about using and that's kind of like an AI tool, isn't it? And it's about using things that are going to make your life easier, not harder.
Definitely.
And using things that are going to make things better for your customer as well.
Fabulous. We are coming to the end of the session now. So if anyone has got any final burning questions for Nicole, do pop them in the chat. I'm sure as well she'd be happy to answer any of the questions you have. She's got her details on the screen there. Nicole, thank you so much. Do you have any final words of wisdom before we go?
No, I'm just having a quick flick through the chat to see if I could pull out any questions, but I think we probably covered a lot that have come through. But yeah, connect with me on Instagram at the Buy and Retail Coach. That's probably where I hang out the most. I do have a newsletter as well, which I send out kind of tips and advice, and also listen to the podcast. And just, I know I gave some examples of bigger businesses there, but I hope you saw how smaller businesses are using things. And those smaller businesses will have started off with one follower or one product or one service and grown to where they are. So it's about using the tools that are available to you and seeing how you can adapt them to your business. You know, you can do experiential marketing. You just need to look at it, how you can use it. You can definitely use AI in your business. Someone asked about AI and getting PR. Yeah, I mean, it will search in terms of PR contacts. It will search, let me try and see if I can go back to it. Can you be used to find to find a segmental list of PR media contacts? You can ask it. I don't, I've not used it from a PR side of things, but then what it can do is you could probably say, um, once it gives you some contacts, you could say, search this journalist and identify um, her most recent his or her most recent 5 articles. Then you could read those articles, or then you could ask it to dive a little bit deeper, summarize each of those articles and what were the main points. And then you could contact that journalist, and you could be like, oh, I saw, I discovered your article in XYZ. This is how we are different, or you might be interested in our story because we do this, so you can use it. It's just kind of thinking with AI, it's the prompts you put in and then asking it again to refine something if you've not got it to where you want it to be.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you to all the lovely small businesses for joining today. And we hope to see you again soon on our next webinar. Take care.
Thanks very much. Bye bye.